I love football. I grew up going to every football game because I was in the marching band. And then my senior year, I was the water girl for my high school football team. And then we kind of, in West Virginia, we had WVU, or we had, you know, the Thundering Herd, Marshall, but we didn't have a professional team. So we would watch Cleveland or we would watch Pittsburgh. We kind of traded around our loyalties a little bit. He's completely absorbed in performance and can give you 20 notes on a take without having to reference a piece of paper or without forgetting one of them. They just rattle off of his tongue, and nothing is more fun as an actor than to have a director who's that engaged in your performance and that articulate about what he wants to get out of you, or just things he wants to try for fun. It's really, really, really been fun. We are all loving working with Ivan. In our film, you start with the general manager the morning of the draft day, and they have a fairly high draft pick. They have the number 7 draft pick, which means that their team did not do very well the year before, and he has a ton of pressure. He's a new general manager, and he has a ton of pressure coming in trying to turn his team around and make the best choice that he can. And he starts trading picks. So he gives up the 7th pick and the next year's picks, and the next 3 years' first-round picks for another team's number 1 pick. And that just sends his whole day into a total tailspin as he tries to unravel kind of the mess that he's made for himself. In order to be there, she has to be as strong as the men, but she also has to let a lot roll off her back. She can't sit around and whine anytime they say something, you know, silly, because they're men. So, so Allie is absolutely as tough as any of them, and she knows about the Cleveland Browns, and she knows about football, and she's not going to be condescended to or patronized in any way, shape, or form. She can more than hold her own. She's a step ahead of everyone in the room. And at the same time, she's very human, she's very female, she's vulnerable, and she's just trying to figure out, her whole life has been football, and she's trying to figure out her next move. It's a very easy thing to fall into, working with Kevin. He comes from a very natural, logical, kind place, and he has a ton of humility and a great stubborn streak, and those come through in the character. This role was tailor-made for him. It's like they wrote it with him in mind. I mean, maybe they did, but it's made it awfully fun to play this role, to get to do these scenes opposite Kevin. This movie has football as a backdrop, and if you love football, you're really going to love the intricacies of the movie, but you don't have to have ever watched a game. Just as a woman, I can tell you that this movie is as much about relationships, it's as much about family and people and all the things that, I mean, I love a good sports film, but I love them because they put people's relationships in such complicated positions to have to unravel and figure out, and this movie definitely will give you that.